Hey guys, Mackenzie here. I am one of your national educators with Aqua, and today I'm going to be talking over sectioning and beading on our webinar for Aqua hair extension. We will be going over all 4 of our methods of tape-ins, cylinders, keratin fusion, and weft placement. This webinar today will just be talking over what sectioning should we have for each of those methods and what application should we be using for beading as well. It's super important for us to make sure that we know what kind of application we should be using for each of our methods to make sure we have a standard foundation for our extension applications. We want to make sure that our clients are the most comfortable when they wear their extensions. So this ensures that we can make sure we know we're doing everything properly. I'm so excited for you guys to learn this webinar today and to talk you through all of our methods and how we should be applying them. Let's talk tape-in hair extensions. So today I will be showing you guys and demoing sectioning for our tape-in hair extensions. I will be using 2 extensions and using them back to back and making one panel of the hair extension. I did want to talk to you though, however, about a couple different options for retape tabs and single-sided tabs as well. For our retape tabs, going over that first, I do have here our Aqua retape tabs. It comes with 60 pieces in a pack. These are really nice. They do not leave a ton of residue on the hair, and these are when you think of standard tape-in hair extension tabs, this is what they are. I also have here Aqua Easy tabs. So for the Easy tabs, what are they different? Why would I maybe use them? First off, they're sweat-proof. So a lot of us that work out, live in warmer climates, we need hair extensions that can adapt to what is happening in our hair. So these are sweat-proof. A lot of my clients love using these for that reason. Another reason we might be using an Easy tab is for more fragile hair. So these do come out of the hair a little bit easier than our other retape tabs, and it just is a little bit less harsh on fragile hair. So that is maybe why you would be using these as well. These come with 60 pieces in a pack as well. Then I'm going to talk over our single-sided tabs. Why would we maybe need a single-sided tab? So a single-sided tab is when I am applying a tape-in hair extension panel. Instead of adding another hair extension on the back of mine, I would add a single-sided tape-in tab. So that way it does not apply as thick onto the hair. This is good for our clients that have finer hair or they're more thin in some sections. So maybe I would do a full head of just regular tape-in, and in the front, instead of doing 2 panels, I would do 1 panel and a single-sided tape-in tab to make sure it's not too heavy or not too thick on those sides. This is also great for a lot of clients that maybe they don't have a ton of density and they want to have some sort of extensions in their hair. We could just use a single-sided tape-in tab too. In those packages, you get 36 pieces with that order of single-sided tape-in tabs. Then going over, what am I using today to apply my tape-in extensions? I will be using a rat tail comb for measuring, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit about our Aqua tape-in pliers. So these are a great tool to have in your arsenal when you're applying tape-in hair extensions. I love using these with my clients because I am able to make sure that my tape-in tabs are very secure and applied to that hair. When you use these, we're making sure that they're squeezed together so much that there's not allowing any bubbling or anything to kind of get in there and loosen those tape-in tabs. These have been a staple whenever I apply tape-in hair extensions. I don't even not use them anymore. I use these on every single application. And they are stainless steel as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I apply them. And I'm just going to demo how you should be applying the tape-in and how much hair it should be grabbing, as well as what should our sectioning be look like, how close to the scalp should be versus how far away it should be. So firstly, I have my section right here that I'm working with. I now have one of my tape-ins, only one of them. I'm just going to be working with that one first. I'm going to go ahead and remove my retape tab. Okay, now that I have removed my retape tabs, I'm going to take my hair extension and just kind of hover it over the section I'm working with. I'm then going to take my rat tail comb and place that right on the section of where I've sectioned for my client's extension. I am placing this here as a guide to know that I need to put my tape in at least a rat tail comb's width away from my client's scalp. This allows flexibility with my extensions and it to move freely. All right, so now that I have measured where that tape in should go, I'm going to firmly press down on it to catch the hair that I would like in this tape in. Once I've done that, I'm going to flip the tape in up. Now that I have lifted this extension up, I'm going to clip it up with a clip, and you can see the amount of hair that my tape-in has grabbed. I do not want to add any more hair to this because what my tape-in has grabbed is what naturally should be in that tape-in extension, okay? Adding more hair could put risk to not being able to allow the extension to move freely and comfortably for our clients. So after I have made sure everything looks good on what has been lifted up, to grab my second tape-in extension and remove those tape-in tabs. And I'm going to put this upside down and match it up exactly to my other tape-in that I have on there. Okay? I'm now going to press firmly into this and let the whole section drop back down. And I'm going to press firmly again. Another way we can make sure that our tape-in extension is completely closed is by using our stainless steel Aqua tape-in pliers. How I'm going to use this, I'm going to slightly lift the tape-in up and squeeze firmly on one side. Take the pliers on the other side, lift up, and squeeze firmly. This ensures that I don't have any air bubbles or anywhere that water could get in and loosen up my tape-in extensions as my client wears these extensions. Personally, the tape-in pliers have been a total game changer in applying my tape-in extensions. All right, now that we have applied our tape-in, I'm going to show you how we're going to check our work, all right? So firstly, I'm going to put my rat tail comb in there and see that I am far enough away from my client's scalp. I'm then going to take my Aqua tape-in and lift it up and down. And as long as that moves comfortably, I know my application was correct. My client will also be letting me know. The way that you might know that it's not placed correctly is if you're getting a lot of hair tension or hair pulling or their scalp. Okay, that is a big indicator that we did not do our rat tail comb guide. Weft extensions. So we are going to be going over our Weft extension placement now. Something I do want to note with our Weft extensions, this is just for our standard Weft placement. This is not for our camo method. If you take our camo classes with Aqua, you will learn how we measure with our pliers a little differently in the camo course. But today I'm just going to be touching on our standard Weft application. Next, I'm going to demo how we apply our beads for our Weft extension placement. Okay, so we are going to be using our silicone beads and our standard stainless steel deluxe pliers to be doing this. The biggest thing with this is just making sure we have proper section and tension. So we're gonna be going all over that. Okay, and for this application for our Weft, I'm going to be using our Aqua stainless steel pliers, my rat tail comb, and my loop tool. For this application, we want all of our sections to be U-shaped scoops and 1/4 by 1/4 inch sections. To see that, I am going to demonstrate right now. So I am going to use my rat tail comb like a pencil. This is the easiest way to do the scoops for my application. If we hold it like this, like we normally would foil, it can get a little hard to make proper sectioning. All right, so I am going to start off with my first Aqua U-shaped scoop. Okay, when I lift that up, you can see that it is a U-shape section. All right, with this section, I want it to be a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch sectioning. And you might ask, how am I supposed to know what that sectioning looks like? Lucky enough for you, our Aqua plier is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch section. Okay, after I put my bead on that section, I'm going to lightly apply my bead. I have not fully closed the bead yet, so I do need to check my work. And I can check my work with my Aqua plier. This section needs to be a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch section, wide and long. So how I'm going to measure how long it is, I'm going to put my Aqua plier at the top of my section, and my bead should touch directly below that section, which it does. I'm going to hold my Aqua plier this way, and by looking at it head on, you can see that my section fits behind that. So it is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch section. I'm then going to go and squeeze the guts out, and that is my first bead. To go ahead and do my next bead, I'm going to have my section kiss the top, and then make my Aqua U-shaped scoop. And if I lift that up, you can see that it is a U-shaped section again. I'm going to go ahead and put my bead on. Okay. Now that I have my next bead on, I'm going to go ahead and check my section. 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And you can see that I have my section kissing the top with a triangle of hair in between. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the guts out. Okay? So I did want to talk through two things with you guys after I showed you our standard Aqua placement. Tension. The reason that we do the Aqua scoop is so that we can make sure that there is not a ton of tension on our guest's hair, okay? So by using the Aqua scoop, we can make sure that we're alleviating 2 tension points on that bottom of where a normal squared section might be. The other thing I do want to talk about a little bit is with finer haired clients. With finer haired clients, we do need to kind of accommodate them for what their hair type is comparatively to the standard extension client we might have. So with that client and with that density or the lack of density thereof, we might have to go a little bit deeper with our sectioning. That is okay. We do have to base off of what our client's needs are. Obviously, if they are super fine hair, they might not be a contender for Aqua Weft extensions. But if we do know that they do have the density for it, just a little bit more fineness to their hair, we can go a little bit deeper with the section. So you do have to kind of play that on a basis of what your client might need. Okay, and then also going over tension. Why are the Aqua scoops so important? So with the Aqua scoops, we are using a U-shaped scoop to alleviate tension and make a comfortable bead placement for our client. You might notice that there are some other techniques of doing a squared sectioning where that could put a little bit of tension on the hair. Hence why we do the scoops, to make sure we're alleviating tension. And it is so important because we want to make sure our clients are comfortable when wearing our extensions. Tension could cause tension sores or tension point alopecia, and we do not want either one of those things to happen to our clients. So when we do check our work here, I have installed 2 of our standard Aqua scoop sections, okay? To check our work and make sure that it's comfortable for our client, we can lift this section up and down and make sure that it's not pulling on our client's hair and that it's comfortable for them. Okay, and just to remind you, the other way to check if our sections look good is by using our Aqua pliers and measuring how long the section is and how wide the section is, because we need it to be 1/4 by 1/4 inch long and wide. And the coolest thing about Aqua is that we have major pliers, a 1/4 inch wide, and from the top to the bottom, 1/4 inch long. Okay, we never want to measure with the open circle side for our standard weft placement. Next, I will be demoing our cylinder extensions. These are applied with 2 different types of beads. We have our just regular silicone beads and our copper cylinder beads. So we can apply these with both of these beads. Depending on allergies and things like that, it's good to have two options as well as just a preference. So I'm going to be applying the cylinders and showing you what it looks like with both of these and what our sectioning should look like for cylinders. Talk cylinders now. So for cylinders, we are going to using our copper and our silicone beads I had talked about previously. We do want to make sure for our sectioning we keep equal density to the hair that we're working with. I'm still going to try to do an aqua scoop to match density to density for this section because I still want to make sure my tension is correct. So what I'm going to do is hold this section up, take my U-shaped scoop, so what I'm going to do is hold this section up and take my U-shaped scoop, holding it up, you can see that it's still more of a U-shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my cylinder bead. This is our copper bead. And they can be a little slippery, so we do just want to hold that up as close to the scalp as it allows us, so we make sure we don't have any back combing. Now that I have my copper bead installed, I'm going to put my cylinder in, and I want it to kind of sit ever so slightly peeking over the bead. I'm then going to take my stainless steel pliers. I'm going to squeeze up to 3 times to make sure that my cylinder is in there. Okay, that is the application with our copper bead. Now I'm going to do another application right next to my last one with one of our silicone beads. Matching density to density still. And this one, because the bead is slightly shorter, I'm going to put it a little bit further down on my cylinder. Now that I have my cylinder in there, you can notice that I put my silicone bead a little bit further down on my cylinder extension. It is a shorter bead, so that is why I did that. I'm going to go in and gently squeeze. Okay? So that is my silicone bead with my cylinder in it. Now that I have showed you guys how to apply our cylinder application, I do want to show you how we can check and make sure that our work is correct on our cylinders. All right? We can move this cylinder all the way around comfortably. Okay? That is how we are going to make sure that it is nice and comfortable for our clients. Okay? And it's not pulling any hair or scalp in any direction. That's how we know it's been comfortably placed for them. Moving to keratins. So for keratins, I'm going to be showing you guys how to section properly for our full bonds, our micro half bonds, and then our baby micros, our smallest bond on our mannequin head today. I'm also going to be talking you guys through how to cut those as well. I have a pack of keratin hair extensions right here, and I also have my bond cutting pliers. So firstly, I do want to talk you guys through how do you cut the bonds and cut the keratin for each of those applications. So firstly, I am going to go over what a full bond looks like. So full bond is just one of our single keratin extensions applied just like how it is. So that is a full bond. Now, talking into our half bonds, we would be cutting it in half. So first I'm going to take my bond cutting pliers and just find the middle on my bond, just like that. Right, so right down the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut. And now I have my half bonds that I just cut. For our baby micros, to cut those, I'm going to take my bond cutting pliers again, and I'm going to kind of eyeball cutting this into thirds. So for my first cut, it's going to be right there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I'm now going to take what I have left and find the middle, just like the last one. I'm going to cut. And I now have my baby micros. So that is how we cut to measure. And a reminder, I am using my bond cutting pliers. You do have to use these ones, and they are very sharp as well, so do be careful with that. All right, and then applying these with sectioning, we are going to be using our rat tail combs, and to apply these, we are using our Keratin Fusion hot guns. So let's get into applying them. Keratin Fusions, measuring for our full bond. So my measuring tool that I am going to be using today is my full bond keratin extension. I want to make sure that on my clients, I'm matching density for density when applying my Keratin Fusion extension. So starting off right about here, you can see that I hold my Keratin Fusion extension up, and I'm still going to be using my Aqua rat tail comb like a pencil. And I'm going to take this section and make a U-shaped scoop and try to match density for density with my Keratin Fusion extension. This is so important because I want to make sure that the weight of my Keratin Fusion extension isn't too much for the section I'm working with, okay? So what I like to do just to make sure that I feel confident with the amount of hair I grabbed is just kind of hold my extension over top of it and just feel for the density to see if it feels proper. Moving on to our half bond, how will we measure for that? Measuring for our half bond, same way. I'm going to hold my half bond up to my client's head, take my rat tail comb, and I'm going to do a U-shaped scoop. See as I lift that up, and I'm going to hold on top to see if I match density for density. And I can see that I did. Another way to make sure that you can see this clearly is by applying your fusion disc when I hold it on top and measure, I'm going to feel for density, and it does feel like it matches up. Moving on to our micros, you guys can guess how we would apply this one. Moving on to our micro extensions. I am going to still be measuring this the exact same way. You guys can tell this is a very, very small section I'm working with. So I do want to still try to make a U-shaped scoop if I can. On mannequin head, sometimes it doesn't always look the best, but I'm now going to hold that bond over top, and I can feel that I did match it density for density. So now, what might all these look like? Taking this section down. So you guys can see I have my full bond right over here, my half bond, and my micro bond, my baby micro bond. So you guys can see all three of these laid up next to each other do look completely different. So I want to make sure that I am matching density for density. Alrighty, now that we have applied our keratin in our client's head or our mannequin head's hair, I'm going to show you how we're going to check to make sure that this application is comfortable for our clients as well. So I can lift this keratin all the way around to know that it is comfortable for my client. And I have proper sectioning. That is how we are going to make sure that our clients are comfortable with this application. All right, guys, so that is everything. We did go over all of our extension methods and how we apply beads and section. So we did go over our keratin fusion and how we cut our bonds down and how we apply those with sectioning. We went over our cylinder extensions and what the difference between the two beads we could be using and applying those as well. We went through our standard weft placement to see how we should be beading those and how we should be applying that to our clients. And then we went over tape and extensions and we touched a little bit on what that looks like in applying that and then what are the retape tabs we could be using. I'm so happy you guys came here today to learn a little bit more with me and spend your morning, evening, afternoon learning a little bit more to help you for success behind the chair with clients. If you guys have any questions, please drop them down in the comments below. I'd absolutely love to hear from you guys and add a little bit of insight to your questions if need be. How you can find me after class. I am on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @MackenzieHairCo. I would love to hear from you guys if you have any questions. My DMs are open for all questions, everything beading or hair extensions in general. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me and learning a little bit more here at Aqua Hair Extensions. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.